I have no COI in this presentation. Also that I had a little bit catching cold, so I'm sorry for the bad voice. So distal radius fracture is a common fracture, and the frequent classification indicates an ulnar style fracture, but sometimes the distal radius fracture associated with the DRUJ instability or SL regions. Tommy Rindo describes that 60% of the TFCC region in the distal radius fracture, then 30% of the SL injury was found in this series. Then the DRUJ instability is common within the TFCC injury because the TFCC is a major stabilizer of the DRUJ. Especially the large ulnar ligament is a key structure for the for the DRUJ stability, which mostly evolves from the fovea of the ulna. Then that the relationship of the large ulnar ligament for distal radius fracture is still controversial. This is the historical findings of the TFCC. Then this is a ligament fibrocartilage complex. Then it is a stabilizer of the DRUJ, and also it can stabilize the ulnocarpal, then distribute load between ulna and ulnar carpus, and allowing the wrist motion and form rotation. So the characteristics of the TFCC region is the vertical insertion of the radial ulnar ligament. Then this is along with an rotational axis during the rotation that can be easily twisting during rotation. I actually did a retrospective analysis of the 29 wrists of the distal radius fracture and malunion. Then all I did in a radiocarpal scope and also DRUJ scope to check with the radial ulnar ligament. I checked the radiographic parameters, radial translation, radial inclination, radial shortening, ulnar variance, displacement, the ulnar style fragment on the PA view, and bore altitude on the lateral view. Then the DRUJ scope findings that there is a complete avulsion of the fovea in 12 cases. Partial fovea avulsion was found in 1. Then the peripheral 1B tear was found in 3. Then the 16 wrist indicates an intact radial ulnar ligament within the fracture of the distal radius. Then also there's a total summary of the 41% has a completely fovea avulsion. Then 55% with a traumatic TFCC regions, which is a similar data for Tommy Rindo reported in 2000 in Journal of Hand Surgery. Degenerative TFCC was found in 12 cases because those are a little bit older females. Then ulnar style fracture was found in 6 cases. Then 3 with radial ulnar ligament avulsion, 3 without. So summary of the retrospective analysis showing that the intact radial ulnar ligament was found in 55%. Then 45% has an fovea avulsion. Then this is a very similar result found in the literature. Univariative analysis for the predictors of the DRUJ instability was radial translation, radial inclination, radial shortening, or ulnar style fracture more than 4 mm displacement. However, that the multiple regression analysis showing that the only radial translation of the distal fragment of the radius was correlated with the DRUJ instability. Age, gender, decreased radial inclination, other factors cannot correlate with the DRUJ instability. For treatment of the distal radius fracture, normally we use monoaxial or polyaxial locking plate, which is a rigid stabilization with a fixed angle or variable angle fixation with a locking screw. Then the non-locking plate or external fixed is relatively a weaker fixation on the radius. So now that everybody agrees with the Bora locking plate is very useful for the distal radius fracture treatment. However, how about the DRUJ instability in the distal radius fracture? When do we need to repair at the time of fracture fixation, or later if that we do need a plate removal, normally at 6 months after the initial injury? How to repair, arthroscopic or open, or sometimes that we need a reconstruction? How about the treatment ulnar style fracture or non-union? Just leave it or fixation with the open repair. Those issues are quite important findings in my practice. Normally, I do capsular repair when there is a peripheral lesion. You can see a peripheral aversion of the TFCC from the peripherally. Then I do checked with repair. Then I do checked with tension at the peripheral side. Then I do also do a DRUJ scope to do an open repair with normally doing outside in fashion. I put the needles from the outside, then the needles, inside the needle there's a loop, then loop can introduce the main stitches. So the longitudinal repair or horizontal type repair. That can be just taken 5 minutes to 10 minutes. Then it is easy indicated to the distal radius fracture treatment. If the foveal aversion occurs, then I use an open arthroscopic transverse repair technique because it's a very initial injury. Then I do put a drill guide from the 6-hour portal into the radiocarpal joint. Then I made a parallel drill hole. Then the K wires passing from the outside of the ulna, then inside the radiocarpal joint. Then I put a 21 gauge needle. Inside the needle, there is a loop. Then loop once goes outside the wrist, then introducing the main stitches into the radiocarpal side, which can be reattaching the TFCC, anchoring to the central region of the fovea very well. If the patient can be treated 6 months or 1 year after the initial fracture, then normally I do open repair the TFC. Then this case showing that this radius fracture was treated with a conservative treatment. However, that 6 months after the injury, he actually mentioned the severe DRUJ instability. Then I did fix an ulnar styloid with an open repair of the TFCC. Then the result was excellent. So 5 years later, he actually has a normal sports activity with skiing or rugby footballs. Ulnar styloid fracture to fix or leave it. We actually have a prospective study about this issue. Then that 2 papers actually concluded that there is no need to fix the ulnar styloid. But it's not true. If those groups has with an ulnar styloid fracture, without ulnar styloid fracture, there is a radial ulnar ligament aversion was in the same incidence. Then in that situation, we need to repair and fix the ulnar styloid. Sometimes I do an ulnar shortening. Also that if it cannot be repaired, I do reconstruction with the FCC using the ECU half slip tendon reattachment. In my series, I mostly do a boral locking plate used for the distal radius fracture. Then the TFCC repair was a little bit varieties. So treatment use the boral locking plate. Then for the TFCC regions or DRUJ instability, you can select several types of the treatment. Thank you for your attention.